advice warning. The content presented in this presentation is intended for informational purposes only and provides general advice only. It does not take into account your personal objectives, financial situation, or specific needs. This information should not be the sole resource when making investment decisions. We strongly recommend you seek the advice of a financial professional. Hi there, welcome to this week's edition of Bulls vs Bears. Welcome, JT.
Welcome everybody, and thanks for tuning in.
Indeed, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, our feature image and story this week, the Bulls, fresh records, investors remain in extreme greed mode. So I've, as you can see from the cover image, couple of bulls jumping in piles of money there. But US earnings season started off fairly well, as it tends to.
Yeah, it does. And as I often say, they set themselves up for a win. They often just beat by a penny, or they lower their guidance, whatever it is. But they do well during earnings season.
Yeah, no, they're a lot smarter than the ASX. Where we wait 6 whole months to find out that no one really knows, so they don't know where to set it in the first place.
Exactly right.
NPC in the media this week, we're a little bit light on. No one did the call this week, which is miraculous.
Yeah. Well, I did the trade on Wednesday, which will be the trade of the week, and I did the morning this morning. So
Tuesday trade.
Tuesday was the trade.
Oh, was it? Yeah, because we did the newsletter. But anyway, I went down the rabbit hole of the AI data center boom, and these guys obviously have got a lot of money to throw around.
Yeah.
But and TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductors, reported the only problem with their business is they can't keep up with demand.
That's a good problem to have. As they say, you want a hungry crowd.
Oh yeah, they're a hungry crowd, all right.
Hungry and thirsty, as you're about to say.
Well, yes. No, we went down the rabbit hole on what we're going to need to build all these data centers that are rapidly going to be popping up all over the place. And copper, uranium, look, if you're a first-time listener, just go and read the article. If you're a long-time listener, you've heard this from me about 1,000 times. It is working, the trade, but excuse me. And but one of the interesting ones was aluminium as well for all the racks and potentially for some of the frameworks, steel, but it's such a small portion of demand for steel. But water is the big one, and thanks to our new friend Grok, which is making research a lot easier, given how good it is, the new Super Grok. We went down the rabbit hole for about 4 or 5 hours, but I probably pulled out the equivalent of about a month and a half's research, I've got to say. I had no idea how investable water is. So there's Duxton water in Australia, but that's just a couple of water licenses for farms. It's not really a thing. But we're talking like actual tech companies in water. One of them was Xylem, XYL, which I did quite like. Roper Industries, which is more utilities, but there's a PHO is is a bit of a funny pun, neutral pH for the science geeks out there. But
not the tasty Vietnamese soup.
No, not the tasty Vietnamese soup. Hopefully your water doesn't look like the Vietnamese soup. But one fun fact was the S&P Water Index has outperformed in the last 10 years, has outperformed the S&P Gold Index and the S&P Energy Index.
There you go. Better store of value.
Yes, better. Well, and that's part 2 of the story. Thank you for that lovely tee up there, JT. So they were talking about how the properties of it being finite, there's no X amount in the world, and etc. And I jokingly asked the AI, and we use a couple, give me an investment thesis for water as a store of value, like as gold. And what I found was quite a very strong, excuse the pun, undercurrent, or like underground community of people who genuinely, it's called blue gold. And essentially it is actually by far and away from a data and correlation basis the best inflation hedge you can have. So because What?
Maybe they should call it the liquid gold. Look, see how
No, maybe I
see
don't.
how gold is the physical Bitcoin,
Look,
or it's the liquid Bitcoin.
yeah, but maybe look. I mean, you need water to mine your Bitcoin, I suppose. So I guess it's even more essential. And I mean, I suppose it's like the thing about it is you don't have to worry about it being stolen because it falls from the sky. But it's when you need it for industrial stuff. And these guys need a lot of water. The filtration systems and technology systems as well around it. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've been genuinely surprised by an investment thesis, which I got to say, I was just taking the piss when I typed in that investment thesis. And it came back and it cost me about 2 hours of my life. I won't get back, but it was pretty interesting. But so I wrote this article for Livewire. You can go to livewiremarkets.com and read the article. And it's a bit of an update because I wrote something pretty similar about a year ago. And as the boys keep saying to me in the office, I should write things down and then come back to them in a year because probably my timing's not great. But yeah, so we did do a powering AI strategy in structured investments last year. BHP's the laggard.
But catching up,
which is here's your little segue, JT, straight into there. We're getting good at this.
Yeah. But just to go back to the water thing, so I will shout out to my friend Jesse. He actually deploys or project manager for a large multinational that builds data centers. And just while we're having beers, he just mentioned one of the things that people underestimate is the amount of water needed for these data centers, and that's where the conversation started. So,
and you don't generally plonk a data center next to a really nice source of water.
Yeah.
And desalination is too expensive. So
well, that's the thing. So, one of the podcasts that I listen to, so in the Permian, in the middle of Texas, there's a lot of natural gas. For you to
which they burn off, right?
Exactly right. But for you, if you want to actually say build power plants where people live, like you're transporting electricity, you're crossing state lines, lots of regulations there. But if you plonk a data center next to a gas-fired plant in the middle of Texas and you're just transmitting data, no problems there. So that's the actual thesis behind it. And then obviously you'll need some water behind that as well. So powering AI, but the thesis will be rather than actually building power plants somewhere else, you actually just build a data center next to a power plant. So,
well, yeah, I mean, when they're drilling for oil, there's just burn off of natural gas quite often. And one of the things was basically most of these things are going to get built in the desert if they can, because no one wants to be near them and they don't want to be near nuclear power plants. The SMRs are still too far away. Oklo was the one that's probably at the cutting edge of nuclear SMRs.
There's another one called NewScale. The actual code is SMR. That's actually new highs as well. That came up on my scans.
But from the fundamental research I did, Oklo's the closest, but it's still 5 years away.
Is it?
I mean, they're running on military, submarines and things like that.
They've already got those little, I wouldn't say little, but they do already have nuclear-powered submarines, and they've had them for a long time as well. So
yeah, but look,
it's basically will the army give up their tech?
Yes, which apparently with the 5-year timeline, no, they will not. But yeah, you ruined my segue there. We were going into BHP.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, so back to BHP. They came out with
quarterlies
this morning. Record copper production, record iron ore production, all of the base commodities at record highs as well. The only thing that pulled it back looks like could be a bit of a cost blowout in their potash.
A year delay.
So that's going to come into production, I think, late 27. I think it was.
Yeah, it was mid to late 26.
So that's the only sort of blight. But here we are, above $40 on BHP.
Yes, it's been a long time since we set a 4 at the front of BHP. And truth be told, I put a chart in, which will be in the show, slideshow later on. I could probably skip to it, actually. Oh, there it is. So BHP, this is before this morning. So I did this morning for Twitter. Copper's up, this is only a month long. Copper's up 14, iron ore's up nearly 12, coal's up 10, uranium's up 10.
Everything that they sell is up 10, and BHP itself's only up 4. We're coming into earnings and record productions, but that iron ore's starting to turn around. That's like 4 or 5 month highs now.
I'm sure that AFR will write a feature article on the weekend why iron ore is going to be in the toilet because everyone likes to hate on it. But yeah, so that was a bit fortuitous that I put that out. And yeah, the coal price has been going up quite nicely as well. Absolutely. So yeah, we've seen a bit of it, but probably a pretty good opportunity. It's up about 3.5% today. There was resistance. It took a while to get through 39, and we got to 39.96 about 3 times, and then about 11 o'clock it busted through and just took off. But the laggards in the index, like CSL was up nearly 4 today.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know what happened, but everyone's just all of a sudden realised we've got more stocks than CBA in the market. So, but back to the other ones.
So Clarity, you can.
Yeah, Clarity. Just a shout out to all my peeps who crapped on me about Clarity on Twitter, and it's going to.
So 2 weeks in a row, you've got the ha-ha.
Yeah, no. Well, and I've got to get them in. I mean, I cop it on the chin when,
Exactly.
I was, and I think with all our averaging, we're in the money for the first time in a while. It was up 11% today. But look, I mean, one that we took off this today, which is a little bit of space on we were looking at Drone Shield, and the only reason I didn't put it in there is because it rallied over $1 billion in market cap, but for no reason at all.
They got a $60 million win, wasn't it?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. So when I went to write the update, I was like, well, nothing's happened except that it's just gone up. But frighteningly, $3.6 billion market cap at one stage. This stock was at 60 cents in April. It's now nearly got to $4.
Oh, no, it got to 4.
It got over 4.
Yeah, it got over 4.
It's been belted the last 2 days. So my thesis is Clarity at 1.1 with an addressable market of about 100 billion a year, and being compared to Telix, which is 8 billion. Or even if it gets to where Drone Shield is, which is effectively only got 60 mil in forward contracts.
Yeah. So that means Clarity's at $10.
No, 15.
Oh, 15.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's $3.80, so it's around about $15. So yeah, you can pin it or whatever. It's going to $15, people. But
it'll just take time.
Yeah, not tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But it got to $9 last year. I mean, it got included in the ASX 200 and then became a small cap again.
And I think you mentioned as well, like the technology is actually quite advanced. Like it's actually going to could take some market share away from or shine away from Telix.
Well, the Twitter banter was Telix should just buy them now, where they've still got a chance to get them out of the way. So apparently, and again, Twitter. So just grain of salt, people have not fact checked this. Apparently, they've been approached, not necessarily by Telix, but and they've gone not a chance in hell. So there's crazy talk of 200 bill market caps. I don't believe that stuff. Even at 100, But look, I mean, I think Telix is probably going to go to $100 as well. I mean, either way, this technology, this copper, the copper radiation stuff, and
don't forget, we still have that demographic trend. Like, even though healthcare stocks have been beaten down, that aging population trend that is not ever going to reverse. So anytime that there's sort of pullbacks within healthcare stocks, just no longer.
And you've got to pick the right ones, because there's ones that suck you in, which is one we're about to speak to, which, I mean, which has sucked people in the past. It looks like it's actually going well now with Mesoblast. But I think the thing I like about Clarity is there's rarely have I ever seen a delay, if I've ever seen a delay. Like they hit their marks with their research. They always continue to advance the clinical pipeline. They've got like 3 or 4 different products in the pipeline. They've got enough cash to get them to revenue, which is 2 years away apparently. And there's no reason to believe that they won't stick to that target. But yeah, so it doesn't strike me. I mean, obviously Mesoblast had its day today, 38%. But Mesoblast, we've heard that before in Mesoblast for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So either way, look, but yeah, that has been a good run on what happened. Sales. So yeah, there you go.
Well, they had a major investment from a large US company as well. So
there you go.
yeah.
So on to US.
Yeah, we busy earnings really.
So, well, I know Taiwan semis.
Yep.
Basically, all the semis have run. So anyone that's interested in US stocks, we did recommend something within that sector, but obviously only to the paying clients. But Taiwan semis.
We know it's a current recommendation. We've had it for a month, so that's.
No, I'm saying so the one that we came out with today.
Very different one, yeah. Which we'll get to in a couple of weeks, but yeah, no, but TSMC, yeah, we've had for a while now, or a month, and it's done very well. And
it's busted out new highs again.
It has, yeah. So, but they just can't keep up. Basically, is their only problem, and their revenue. I mean, they increased their operating margin, they increased their net profit margin, they increased demand by like 40%. It's just every number was just like, whoa. So yeah, and I can't imagine it's going to, now that they're allowing NVIDIA chips into China, I can't imagine that it's going to slow down anytime soon. So,
exactly. So yeah, just that whole sector is absolutely on fire. I've noticed a few laggards within that space. So I've started to. So I've been trading the US markets a long time, but just basically the indexes. I've never actually popped the hood and actually looked deep down. And yeah, there's a lot there. But there's plenty of laggards that can catch up. But it's a very deep market. So
a great example of laggards catching up was we were chatting about Interactive Brokers last night.
Yeah.
Because the Goldman Sachs Citigroup results were really good this week, early in the week. Citigroup was the best performer, up 8%. But Goldman Sachs had the highest trading revenue on record for any company ever.
Yeah.
So we went, let's have a look at some, like the Robin Hoods of the world, etc. Robin Hood, unfortunately.
No, we were talking about the trade desk.
Oh, yes, no. We should change their name.
Which is actually false advertising, because they have nothing to do with trading as we know it.
Yeah, it's more. It's media trading.
Yeah. So they have they're a digital marketing company, and now they have an ads trading platform.
Correct. So couldn't work out why it was so cheap, and and then Interactive Brokers popped up overnight as well. So and should probably have it reported after the bell, but it should have a pretty good night tonight. Robinhood's eye-watering. Expensive, as is Coinbase, but
we also picked up Schwab as well.
Yeah, Schwab, which reports tonight, not quite strong enough for a recommendation for us because it's still got a lot of moving parts in it.
And the thing is, like, they're going to report just before the bell, so it'll be very hard to judge an opening price.
We've missed the boat a little bit, but look, it's for those of you who don't know, I'm doing our morning report. I now do as a podcast. And so I'm doing a bit of a wrap-up with these things in the morning as well. So it possibly overestimated the work in it over a US earnings season. Getting in at like 6 a.m. every morning just to be able to get it out by 8 o'clock.
They do it 4 times a year.
No, I know. I love digging myself a hole. Just ask my wife.
Yeah. But one thing I will say is that, and I have brought this up in our investment banter, is that, and it's not just here, but basically, all of any company that's involved in finance, the plumbing, the financing, so all of the exchanges are at record highs, all of the brokerages are at record highs, all of the investment banks are at record highs, local banks here are at record highs, international banks are at record highs. So if the actual finance companies themselves are firing, it should be no surprise that all the rest of the market is at record highs, because that's the plumbing.
Yeah.
If the plumbing is in tip-top shape and doing well, the whole market should be doing well. So
they've spent 100 years creating a system that makes it that's dependent on them. So you want a house, come to us. You want to save, come to us.
Exactly right.
Oh, you own your house, invest with us.
Exactly. So it should be no surprise that this market is at record highs. I mean, like, pretty much all the markets, not all, but a lot of the markets are at record highs, and all the commodities are just pumping. But
the commodities are pumping, but if you go back to historical valuations, commodities, real assets are still way cheap. But
that's true.
And the last time I felt so comfortable about banks was roughly halfway through 2006. That panned out pretty well. Netflix as well, strong earnings. Weird investor call. They're talking about opening an amusement park, but not like Disney. They're not going to, because everyone's like, well, how much are you going to spend on that? I said, oh no, it'll be really dynamic, and we'll rotate it with our shows. And I'm like, and everyone's just sitting there. I think most people would have been as confused as us. As like, can we get the streaming data, please? Like, well, who the hell?
How many new subscribers do you have? That's
pretty much.
That's pretty much the.
But they margins increased, revenue growth increased, and exceeded internal expectations. They're going into. Everyone wanted to know about the sport. There was very little talk about it, which means they're probably out of ideas. And the amusement park thing was probably just they tried the Trump thing and trying to distract people. But as well, Johnson & Johnson was one that stuck out as well, up around about 6.5% on the day. Wasn't awesome. The result wasn't like they didn't knock it out of the park. But I reckon that's a bit of a signal that not that the whole sector's bottomed, but the quality in the sector's bottomed because it's had really bad. It's had a bad run. It's the worst run healthcare's had in a long time. But they expected the effect on tariffs because Trump's been saying some pretty wild things. So within one quarter, they've gone from expecting an impact of 400 million to under 200 million now. So, and they actually had a good quarter when they were guiding for a poor quarter. So possibly could be just green shoots of a recovery in the healthcare sector, and hopefully this as a healthcare investor, hopefully this lawsuit against RFK has teeth, so he buggers off as well. But they're claiming that it's negligent to unwind all of these safety guards. Well, to unwind the vaccination program and things without any scientific data. But look, we got this is the week. Didn't really notice Meta and credit down.
Wow.
But that technology services business has been pretty weak. Stuff like Salesforce, ServiceNow, or Meta this week.
Look at Palantir 7.
Yeah, Palantir's been on fire.
Back to new highs, I think.
One thing I will say, I know we have a Kramer of the week and we take the piss out of Jim Kramer, but tip of the hat has been on NVIDIA since $40 basically, and has called by the dip every time, and has been on Palantir the whole app as well.
Okay.
So fair to when you get something right, you got to give him a little bit of credit.
One thing I have noticed, so Cat, that's a good sort of bellwether.
Economic bellwether, yeah.
And that's at new highs as well, Cat. So
where's my old mate John Deere? He'll be around there somewhere. But it's been going towards highs as well. So and it's done pretty well.
Well, basically, if you're
there it is. It was down this week, down too.
Okay, but basically, if your stock isn't at or very close to record highs, I don't think it ever will.
Wow. Oh, I mean, there's certain sectors that still aren't doing particularly well. Tesla's bouncing around. Earnings next week. There's a bit of conjecture in the office as to whether we should buy it or not. But we'll get onto that a little bit later when we get to the calendar. One thing we like the look of was the cybersecurity area. We flagged it more for let's see how it goes because they were way overpriced and they had some pretty extreme. I mean, ServiceNow is like 400 PE or something stupid at one stage, and they had a good earnings and then.
But it can get to 500 PE.
It can get to I think Palantir is at like 1,000 PE.
I remember when that was the most expensive company with Palantir, and it got more expensive, and I just went, oh man, when these things happen,
it's at record highs. So it's
that's what I mean. Like, I remember when Richard
first bought it,
and you were like, oh, okay, well let's.
I looked at the PE and I thought it was a mistake, and. And then I looked up an article and it said most expensive company in the world, and I just went, oh, righto, I'll trust you. And I think he made 40% in a week.
Yeah, and it kept running.
And then he got out and got back in again. So, the joy of active management, which is what like Tesla will be as well, given it has such a mad range. So that's Wednesday night, but that'll report after the close Wednesday night US. So
it's actually Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
Raytheon's going to be a big one.
Right, and Raytheon's at record highs, like just parabolic. Google, I haven't heard much about Google. Don't know. I don't know whether I care actually.
Well, one thing about Google is that just recently, this is the first time in years is that search volume is actually down. So, and what they've done is they've realised that I think it's peak search for them, and now it's like an automatic AI. So they straight away when you do a Google search, it just goes onto Gemini now.
Yeah.
And you get that answer as a default. So.
Which is still crap. As someone I use Grok, Perplexity, GPT, and you can change the large language models within that. I haven't used Google I've actually even got Perplexity on my phone now and Grok on my phone. I don't remember the last time I went to Chrome.
Okay.
Unless I was opening a PDF.
Oh, I'm old school. I'll still whatever Google says, I'll still listen.
Well, but like I said, even writing that article the other day, I read just your ability to get to the point quickly without having to go through the rigmarole of scrolling through 5,000 sponsored ads to get to what you actually want. I reckon it was weeks worth of research.
Yeah.
And RBA, we've got Bullock and the RBA minutes on Tuesday. Bullock speaks Thursday. Some manufacturing towards the end of the week. China's got PBOC, prime rate. Doesn't usually do much, to be honest.
Actually, well, Caribbean, that's new highs. That keeps coming up on my scans. The boomers are obviously all cruising.
Yes. So it'd be a little bit. And Roper Technologies was one of the water companies actually. But yeah, Coca-Cola might be interesting to watch as well. Pepsi was up 8% on its earnings.
They jumped on earnings. So yeah.
And my little pet rock or pet stock in the Intuitive Surgical is one of the robot surgeons. Actually looks mildly cheap for the first time. It was like 1,200 PE or something stupid, but the healthcare sector's battered it a little bit. But it's the first time I'm not looking at it like having to close my eyes to execute the order.
And then just on Texas Instruments, 70% analog.
Yes. Oh dear, yes. So if you're looking for a Betamax or a VHS,
the stock's on fire.
Oh yeah, no, they do calculators or something. I don't know. They're I remember it. I had a Texas Instrument toy that taught me how to spell.
Yeah,
and now I've got Microsoft, so that was a waste of time as well. But yeah, it'll be all about earnings next week, I would imagine. ServiceNow as well on Wednesday. That'll be interesting. I wouldn't be brave enough to buy it. But Tesla, we've got two camps in the office. Everyone's the young blokes are a little bit scared to buy it.
Yeah.
And they would say, well, he's concentrating on politics too much. I'm in the other camp, and I reckon they should grow a pair, to be honest, because I reckon it'll be all about Elon's back. He'll have some outrageous announcement on.
Yeah,
he has set that stock up 100 or 200% in the past. Like the Cybertruck was coming next year for 5 years straight.
Well, I forget what the tweet was, but when he made some sort of claim, like something's coming before the end of the year, something about the robotaxi or something.
Yeah.
And I just went, man, this guy can sell. Like he knows how to promote. He knows how to garner attention, and then do it in a way where investors will be like.
And the reason that everyone always gets caught is they go, but Tesla sales in Europe are down. It's like no one. So let me just be very clear. The earnings results actually don't matter for Tesla. It's about what he's saying he's going to do in 6 to 12 months' time.
Exactly.
At every earnings. He has missed 4 out of the last 4. And as you always say, they're built to be beaten. But they've applied for Arizona on top of Texas for the robo-taxis. Grok's being deployed across, which is owned by Twitter, not by Tesla. He's going to be deployed across all of Elon's ecosystems across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Grok's been benchmarked as the best large language model out there at the moment by a clear margin. it probably won't last long. Someone will catch up. They all leapfrog at the start when but that data, all the driving data, all the robotics data,
all the Twitter data, all the Starlink data.
Yeah, well, yeah, Starlink as well. So you think Zuckerberg's bad? No, Elon's like peeking in your curtains, but I just think he's going to put on a show, and taking on politics and starting the America Party that's already died down.
Yeah.
But he has run SolarCity, PayPal, Tesla, The Boring Company, SpaceX, Twitter, and I'm forgetting one, but so 7 major innovative
Starlink
company. Starlink, probably, yeah. And I don't think
all while being a top gamer on Diablo or something like that.
Yes, and having 9 kids or 10 kids. So the guy's he's a busy dude, and I don't think a little bit of politics is going to bother him. There's no way he is tweeting as much. Like he tweets like he's on Neuralink, which is another one of his projects. So I'm going to back him for next week, and it's the stock's doubled, then halved, then doubled, and then halved again in the last 12 months. And we're towards the bottom of the range, so I'm going to back him. But
I think it's maybe we run it like CSL. So every time it rallies, take off half, and then just have a core position again.
Well, and I think you'd find that the volatility would correlate as well, because you make 15% in CSL, and you make 100% in Tesla.
Yeah,
but it's roughly about 8 to 1.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so it'll be pretty busy next week, I would imagine. Commodities, mate.
Commodities. Oh, wow, uranium.
Yeah, uranium's still kicking goals. Cameco was at a record high. Shout out to palladium. It's catching up.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Did platinum make new highs again?
Platinum made new highs as well, but its little brother palladium. It's I think it's up 35% this month.
So there you go. Another catch up. So I think I might have talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like gold has run its race. I wouldn't say run its race. I don't think it's going to go down, but you can just see money's looking for other stores of value right now, and it's all about just trying to pick the next winner.
UBS released the same thing. Read on investing.com yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Gold's done. Silver's going to go to the moon.
Uh-huh.
And one stat I did do: if the gold-silver ratio returns to the 50-year average, silver should be at $55.
Okay.
But that's just to the average. So I mean, I'm not saying it's going there, people, but it's going there.
Yeah. Bitcoin made new highs. Was it this week? What last week?
Early in the week.
Early in the week. So I believe it hit like 123 or 124.
So a week in Bitcoin. So kind of like dog years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we could. So that's like it's more like not a 5-day, a 5 week.
Yeah, and I will say, actually, Bitcoin has been overshadowed by Ethereum.
Yes.
So what's happened is there's been a few micro strategies of Ethereum that popped up, and if you say that you have Ethereum on your balance sheet, your stock rallies. So
yeah.
So that's the next play, but.
Well, I mean, it is the DeFi.
Everything else is reasonably flat.
But iron ore, I think if uranium wasn't up so much, that's a damn good move for iron ore.
Yeah.
So I think it pulled back a little bit, but it's tending to rally later in the session. Not rather than so yeah, it's silver pulled back. Boo. It's
still holding highs. Like it hasn't made like a massive lower low or
there's a lot of not necessarily conspiracy theories, but there's been a couple of significant orders that have belted the market down this week in the US session. So someone sold $480 million worth of silver in half an hour, just in one click, just went bang.
Wow.
So
not a fat finger?
No, not. I mean, like I said, conspiracy theory, but And
either way, like, and as you've noticed, Euro session is when silver gets the bid, and US is when they take profits.
I did back test that. It does that if you just basically bought and then sold and went short on a 12-hour rotation, it makes a little bit. The most money was just
holding on.
No. Well, no. Selling at the start of the US session and buying back at the end, and forget the other session. So someone's someone's unhappy with silver in the US, obviously. But yeah, it's. I'd be interested to see that Genius thing. The Genius Act got passed. It might be a bit of buy the rumor, sell the fact in Bitcoin next week, maybe, because it's it's got through now. So God no, like there's some.
Oh, and a shout out to the Ripple guys as well.
Oh yeah, Ripple's gone up
360, I believe. So that's at new record highs as well.
I've spent half my week trying to find a Ripple ETF because they're all the good ones, all the proper ones are coming in September. That are based on the actual cold storage and physically backed. But there's one that's on futures. There's one that's on day options. So be careful if you're doing crypto ETFs. You've definitely got to check what's in the box overall, because we nearly bought this 2 times leverage thing, but it's like it was a day only. But we're increasingly getting crypto. Unfortunately, for those who were interested in that crypto strategy we had, it's now become
too expensive,
obscenely expensive. The leverage is halved, so we're back to the drawing board on that one.
That one, that's a shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Well, we'd already be at the leverage point just about,
exactly.
which is a bit of a shame.
Would have been great.
It would have been great, but look, it was. We are stockbrokers after all, or
Well, one thing with the markets, there's always going to be another opportunity.
As well, this is trade of the week, but I just would shout out to Donald Trump this week for just being the ultimate media magician. It's one of the. I wrote an article, a little thing on it in the actual weekend of the PDF
nice
version.
picture of.
It's a beautiful picture there, but they're almost got the front cover, but record highs trumped it. He is just a genius at watching him threaten Jerome. So he threatened Jerome Powell to fire Jerome Powell. He has no legal right to fire him. I went on the record this week on Twitter and said, I deny that I'm firing Jerome Powell this week just because I've got as much legal right as Trump has to fire him. But he needed this crypto thing through, and there's a couple of dodgy clauses in this thing. Which could destabilise markets badly in the future.
One was you can tokenize stuff.
You can basically tokenize yourself to be so you don't have to adhere to SEC regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. When the US has reduced regulations on companies, historically, let's just go through the list. There's Enron, that was one, and then I don't know how many companies through the GFC, which then caused a 5-year and took the financial system to the edge of the abyss. But he ran this just interference where he made a story out of nothing, and so they've done no trade deals this week. Oh, they did one with Indonesia. Next week Fiji, and so he's not. But I've got to take my hat to him. It is just he's the absolute king of he's going, look over here when things aren't going well, and the moment that Genius Act got through, the Powell thing's gone away.
Yeah.
He even said that there was a fraud on Powell's renovation of his house to try because the only way they can get him out is impropriety, and the moment the Genius Act was out, he just straight on Twitter. No, Jerome's fine till May now.
He's my boy.
He's my boy. He also did say that he was surprised that he was ever appointed and that it was a mistake from the Biden administration. He actually appointed him.
Yeah,
so
right.
He wasn't a Biden. And then he had to backpedal on that. But it was nothing about Powell. It was all about get this crypto bill through, and then we'll go back to the normal thing. So. But Austin Engineering.
Austin Engineering. So this is one that Mark had on the call because you did the small cap special.
Yes.
And you were like, man, that thing is so cheap. And then I just said, hang on, I know Austin Engineering. I went to a mining conference and they actually had one of their sort of wide body buckets,
Yeah.
and like on the surface, it's not a huge performance. Like basically, you can carry say 15% more, but
if you're doing 1,000 runs,
yeah, it's 15% lighter. But yeah, as you said, like if you're doing 100,000 hours on these things, it makes a big difference. And it actually popped up on my scans a few days back, and I just said, hang on, and hence the green arrow there. And I just said, Mark, I think it's time to wreck it. It's turned around. You liked it fundamentally because it's cheap. It's
I liked it.
6.5 PE or something like that.
Forward PE of 6.5, and it pays it actually pays a pretty good little divvy too. And fair value is really around about 50 cents based on most modelling.
And it's only about 240 mil.
You can get back there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, exactly. So
it just look, it made a mistake. It's been on a downtrend. But I think I literally said on the call, the boys will shoot me in the office because this is on a downtrend. So we specifically waited until there was a signal. So because fundamentals don't mean much these days.
No.
So
anyway, ANG is the code, and that was sent out. I think 38 cents was the buy, and it's still there. But the thing is, as you see, even on the way down and on the way up, when this thing trends, it does it in a very nice uniform fashion, and we believe that this is the start of a uptrend. So
and if it is, it's like we're talking, you'll make 30, 40%, and the target, I think, you get to 60 is 60%, and that's not. It was there this time last year. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And look how much it risk. Yeah.
Well, but you get paid. You're going to get paid a 5% fully franked dividend in the meantime as well.
Exactly. Plenty to like about it.
And you can get that rec free on our website. Actually, don't ask me what the link is, but it was. Or check out Twitter. We gave out. Check out my Twitter at Mark MarkGardn. I pushed it out Tuesday evening, so you can get that the full recommendation there, and then you're not left on your own. Just for the record, there is a stop loss in there at 28 cents down 27%. That I've now washed my hands of this. It's now at your own risk, people. And if we get out earlier, well, you have to pay for membership to find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got fear and greed, extreme greed again. So, hence the title this week. We're double greed, double extreme greed this week. So I'd be bearish if it wasn't earnings.
So were you bullish last week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I've been bullish 3 weeks in a row.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm still bullish, and I think this extreme greed will get more extreme.
Yeah, I think it's got to get to 85 or something like that. I'm going to be bullish again this week. There's too many decent companies reporting next week, and if I'm bullish Tesla, that's going to be a big part of it as well.
Well, my main reason for being so bullish is obviously that, as I said, the financial system, the plumbing's working, and then I read reports from ETF providers about the fund inflows, net wealth, Hub 24. There's just plenty of money coming into the markets, so it has to go somewhere, and when it hits the stocks, it might go into CBA again, but either way, it's going to push the market higher. So I am bullish for next week.
Yeah, no, as I said, bullish as well. I'm going to put in my call for 2 weeks' time. The end of July, bearish, just for 2 months straight. I'm done. That seasonality is going to kick in. We'll be through earnings, and I think this thing's going to get. I honestly think by October we could have a little peekaboo at the April lows, which is down about 18%. So, but it's not going to happen in the next. There's no trigger. But I reckon the inflation data is going to come through. We haven't seen any of it.
Well, it can't be tariffs either, because what was it last week? Last weekend, Trump came in with 30%. Market just ignored it.
I think what it's going to be is that there'll be no trade deals done. And he has got those. Like they've raised 120 billion. supposedly so someone's got the numbers wrong. So the consumers aren't feeling it because there's no inflation and they're still buying. The producers aren't feeling it because PPI was less than expected.
Yep.
So Trump's plans work perfectly, and China's just reduced their prices, have they? Like, I don't think that's happened. The LA boss was on Bloomberg this morning saying that his port is basically like tumbleweeds.
Really?
Well, they're coming in via other ways. And he didn't get into too much detail, but I quite like him. He's quite well spoken, and he should do more media, to be honest. But he said it's slowed down a lot, and but he was very cryptic about they're coming. The goods are making in through other venues, like I mean, he's tariffed Mexico and Canada, so I don't know how that happens, but yeah. So I just don't. I don't see the market holding record highs for much longer. Like, we've got so much good news baked in now. And I'll go back to because people have commented that they're a bit shocked that I've been bullish a couple of weeks in a row. But just to rest assured,
I'll being a charts guy, I'm going to wait for at least a couple of lower lows on the daily before I turn around. Till then, buy the dip.
Yeah, no, I think July is actually seasonally a really good month. So, and
that's playing out. But then obviously then we go to August and then September, October. So
everyone's going to come back from holidays. And the passive players won't rule the market. But I think the green shoots in China will save our index. I reckon our index will outperform very much when it's on the down, if there's a downside. But if you look at some of the bounces out of some of those mid cap stocks in the US, which obviously we've had to concentrate on quite a bit over the last month, they haven't they've gone 100% through previous highs, not just back to highs. It's like that meaty 100 bill, 200 bill market cap part of the market is now just 400. But yeah, it's it feels a little bit too. I had one night flicking through Twitter. I couldn't find a bearish tweet. I could not.
There
one.
you go. That's a sign.
But yeah, so
everyone's in, everyone's long, loving it right now. But as you said, the party can't
and taunting like people who are bearish.
Yeah.
So that's hence I had a target on my back. But yeah, no. But for the next 2 weeks, I don't think it ain't going anywhere but up. And you might get some really good short-term trading moves. So yeah, subscribe to the Global Alpha. There's been the hit rate it's only been around for 3 months, but the hit rate's in the 90s. So and there's been
a good time to start though. I will say that. I mean, we can't.
It was non-live for a month before that, and still survived. So and the high conviction's got an 80+% hit rate from November. So and that was a horrible time to buy, but just as happened to be when we launched it. But have a great weekend, everyone, and stay safe out there, and we'll speak to you next week.
That's it. All right, thanks a lot.